My sister-in-law barged into my house, shouting, "I'm hosting Thanksgiving here whether you like it or not." When I refused, she invited guests anyway, but her reaction to my surprise vacation plans left her speechless. First, some background. My wife, Mariana, and I live in a quiet suburban neighborhood just outside Chicago. Our house is comfortable, with plenty of space, but nothing extravagant. Bianca, my sister-in-law, seems to think otherwise. She has been a constant thorn in our side ever since I met Mariana. Bianca is the kind of person who doesn't ask for things. She declares them. If you don't agree, she bulldozes right over you, as if your opinion doesn't matter. Mariana has always struggled to stand up to her, so most of the time, I'm the one who ends up putting my foot down. But this time, Bianca really outdid herself. Mariana and I had already decided that this year, we weren't hosting Thanksgiving. For the past 2 years, we had opened our home to the entire family, both hers and mine. As much as I love Thanksgiving, hosting is exhausting. It's not just the cooking, though that's a huge part of it. It's the cleaning, organizing, making sure everyone has what they need, and keeping the peace between feuding family members. After last year's fiasco, where Bianca loudly declared in front of everyone that my turkey was too dry and insisted we should have just ordered catering while I was still carving the bird, I told Mariana I wasn't doing it again. She agreed. We had been talking about taking a short trip somewhere warm, just the two of us, and skipping the chaos altogether. Apparently, Bianca had other plans. One Saturday morning, about 2 months before Thanksgiving, I was outside trimming the hedges when I heard Mariana's voice inside the house. She wasn't shouting, but her tone was sharp, an obvious sign of frustration. Curious, I went inside and found Bianca standing in the middle of our living room, arms crossed, talking to Mariana like she was a child being scolded. "I'm hosting Thanksgiving here this year," Bianca announced. "It just makes sense. Your house is bigger, and everyone is already used to coming here." Mariana looked stunned. "Bianca, we're not hosting Thanksgiving this year. We're actually planning to go out of town." "That's ridiculous," Bianca snapped, waving her hand dismissively. "You can't just decide not to do Thanksgiving. What is everyone supposed to do?" Mariana opened her mouth to respond, but Bianca kept going. "Mom's house is too small, and my apartment isn't set up for that many people. You have the space. It's not a big deal. You don't even have to do anything. I'll handle all the planning." That was when I stepped in. "Bianca," I said firmly, "we're not hosting Thanksgiving. Period. We've already decided." She turned to me, narrowing her eyes. "Why are you being so selfish? Thanksgiving is about family. You're just gonna leave everyone high and dry?" "I'm not being selfish," I replied. "We've hosted for the last 2 years. It's someone else's turn." "Well, you should have told everyone sooner," she snapped. "Now it's too late. I've already started planning." I stared at her. "Planning for what? We didn't agree to this." She threw her hands in the air. "You're being impossible. I'll figure it out." And with that, she stormed out. I thought that was the end of it. Bianca would sulk for a while and then move on. I couldn't have been more wrong. A few days later, Mariana's mom texted her. "Looking forward to Thanksgiving at your house. Bianca said you're hosting again this year." Mariana read the text out loud, and I just laughed. She's joking, right? Mariana immediately called Bianca. "Why is Mom saying we're hosting Thanksgiving?" Mariana asked. "Oh, I went ahead and told everyone," Bianca said, as if she had done us a favor. "I knew you'd come around. Don't worry, I'll take care of the guest list and the menu." "Bianca, we're not hosting," Mariana said, her voice firm. "You can't back out now." Bianca shot back. "I've already told everyone. They're expecting it. You'll ruin Thanksgiving for the whole family if you cancel." Mariana started to argue, but Bianca hung up before she could finish. Over the next week, we started getting messages from other family members, all assuming we were hosting Thanksgiving. Bianca had apparently gone out of her way to make it seem like the whole thing was set in stone. By now, I was furious. Bianca had completely ignored us, gone behind our backs, and roped the entire family into her plan. Mariana was stressed, her parents were confused, and I was done playing nice. "I'm not letting her get away with this," I told Mariana. "What are we supposed to do?" she asked. "I have an idea," I said. Mariana looked at me skeptically. "What are you planning?" "Just trust me." I spent the next few weeks quietly putting my plan into motion. Bianca continued to organize her version of Thanksgiving at our house, sending out group messages about the menu and assigning dishes for people to bring. Mariana and I stayed quiet, neither confirming nor denying anything. Meanwhile, I booked us a 5-night stay at a beachfront resort in Florida, starting the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I also made sure to lock down our house, double-checking all the windows, setting the alarm system, and even asking a neighbor to keep an eye on the place while we were gone. On the Monday before Thanksgiving, Mariana's mom called to confirm what time she should arrive. "We're leaving town tomorrow," Mariana told her. But Bianca said, "I know what Bianca said," Mariana interrupted. "We told her weeks ago we're not hosting." She just didn't listen. Mariana's mom wasn't thrilled, but she understood. Tuesday morning, we packed our bags, locked up the house, and left for the airport. By Wednesday evening, my phone started blowing up. First, it was Bianca. "Where are you? The house is locked. People are coming tomorrow." Then, Mariana's mom. "Bianca's freaking out. What's going on?" I ignored the messages and sipped my drink. By Thanksgiving morning, Bianca had gone into full meltdown mode. But for me and Mariana, the day started perfectly. We woke up to the sound of waves crashing against the shore, enjoyed breakfast on a sunny terrace overlooking the ocean, and made a pact not to check our phones until lunchtime. We were having the best Thanksgiving of our lives. The sun was shining over the golden sand. The ocean waves crashed gently against the shore, and the warm Florida breeze brought a refreshing relief as Mariana and I lounged under a thatched cabana, sipping ice-cold cocktails. After years of hosting chaotic family gatherings and dealing with the stress of ungrateful relatives, we were finally doing something just for ourselves. We were far from the drama, far from suffocating expectations, and, most importantly, far from Bianca. At least, that's what we thought. After a hearty breakfast at the hotel, we decided to spend the entire day at the beach. We took a kayak out and explored the crystal-clear waters, then lounged under the sun until we got sleepy. Later, while enjoying drinks at the beachfront bar, my phone buzzed in my pocket. I ignored it. Today was about relaxing, not worrying about whatever nonsense awaited us back home. But then it buzzed again. And again. I sighed, pulled out my phone, and saw a flood of messages from our neighbor, Samuel. "Hey, is everything okay? Your house is a mess. There's a ton of people inside, and the noise is insane." My stomach dropped. Mariana noticed my expression. "What is it?" "Samuel says there are people in our house." Her eyes widened. "What do you mean?" I opened more messages. "I think someone broke in. There's loud music, shouting, people coming and going." I even knocked on the door to ask, but some guy I don't know told me everything was fine and shut the door on me. I looked at Mariana. "Bianca." She clutched her forehead. "No way. How would she even get in?" I was sure we had locked everything. The alarm was activated. There was no way Bianca could just walk in. Unless... I called Samuel. He picked up immediately. "Man, your house is a disaster. I was about to call the cops, but I wanted to check with you first. Did you see how they got in?" "Not sure, but it looks like someone has a key." My blood boiled. Bianca had an old copy of our key from years ago, but we had changed the locks after a renovation, which meant she must have gotten in another way. "Samuel, can you check who's inside? Don't put yourself in danger. Just try to see if Bianca is there." "Got it. Be right back." I stared at my phone, fuming. Mariana anxiously stirred her straw in her drink, waiting. Minutes later, Samuel sent me a picture. It was our living room, or what was left of it. People were sprawled on the couches, dirty plates stacked on the coffee table, beer bottles littering the floor. And right in the middle, holding a drink and laughing loudly, was Bianca. Mariana snatched the phone from my hand. "I can't believe this." She broke into our house and threw a party. I felt my rage hit a level I didn't even know I had. I immediately called Bianca. She answered after a few rings. "Oh, so now you call?" she said, already sounding annoyed. "Are you in my house?" "Ugh, stop being so dramatic. You didn't want to host Thanksgiving, so I fixed the problem." "Fix the problem? You broke into my house, Bianca. How the hell did you get in?" "Oh, relax. Mom had an old key, remember? And I just had the lock changed again. It was easy, just called a locksmith." My heart nearly exploded. "You changed the lock on my house. I told you it's not a big deal. You abandoned everyone on Thanksgiving. What was I supposed to do? Let the family have no dinner? IT wasn't your problem." "Oh, whatever. Everyone's having fun. You should be thanking me." I was shaking with fury. "Get out. Now. Relax. We already cleaned up most of the mess. We'll leave by the end of the night. You won't be there another minute." She laughed. "Fine, come and kick me out then." And she hung up. I was about to explode. "We're going home," I said to Mariana. "What? What, the trip? It's over. I'm not letting that lunatic destroy our house." We booked tickets for the next flight back to Chicago, and a few hours later, we landed. We took a cab straight home, my heart pounding with rage and frustration. When we arrived, The scene was even worse than Samuel had described. The street was packed with cars, beer cans were scattered all over our lawn, and the music was still blaring. I pushed the door, but it was locked. I rang the doorbell, pounding on the door. Bianca opened it, looking annoyed. "What's your problem?" "My problem is that you're in my house." I pushed past her and stepped inside. Mariana followed. The living room was a disaster. People I had never even seen before were laughing, drinking, treating our home like some kind of bar. "Everyone out!" I yelled. People turned to stare at me. "Guys, just ignore him," Bianca said, rolling her eyes. "He's overreacting." Mariana glared at her sister with pure hatred. "You're unbelievable." I walked over to the speaker and yanked out the plug. The music cut off. I said, "Get out." This time, people started moving. "You can't do this," Bianca protested. "This is a family gathering. This is not your house. You broke in, changed my locks, stole my key. Do you have any idea how illegal this is?" She crossed her arms, looking uncomfortable now. "It's not like I stole anything." "Oh, really? You'll find out soon enough." I pulled out my phone and started dialing. "Who are you calling?" "Police." Panic flashed across her face. "You wouldn't. You broke into my house. That's a crime, Bianca." Guests started scrambling for the door, realizing this wasn't just some minor argument. "You're seriously calling the cops on me? I'm your sister-in-law. You're nothing to me after today." She went pale. Mariana crossed her arms. "You crossed the line. It's over." And that's when Bianca finally realized that her manipulation wasn't going to work this time. I didn't hesitate for a second. While Bianca stared at me in shock, still trying to process what was happening, my finger was already pressing the call button on my phone. "Yes, I'd like to report a home invasion." The color drained from Bianca's face. "You can't be serious," she whispered, taking a step back. The few guests who were still there froze. Those who had lingered in the house suddenly realized that this wasn't just a family argument. This was serious, and I wasn't backing down. "My name is my name, and the intruder is my sister-in-law, Bianca." She entered without permission, changed the locks without authorization, and hosted an illegal party in my home. As I spoke with the dispatcher, Bianca started shaking her head, laughing nervously. "You can't do this, it's Thanksgiving. I don't care what day it is. You broke into my house. Mom is going to kill you for this," she muttered, scanning the room, hoping someone would defend her. But no one did. Everyone looked uncomfortable. Some were already grabbing their coats and sneaking out before the cops arrived. "I warned you," I said, crossing my arms. Mariana stood beside me, her eyes filled with a quiet fury. She wasn't saying much, but I knew she was with me on this. When the sirens echoed down the street, Bianca finally realized she was in real trouble. "You can't do this. I'm family. You stopped being family the moment you decided to break into my house." She turned to Mariana, desperate. "Are you really going to let him do this?" Mariana took a deep breath. "You left us no choice." When the officers walked in, Bianca immediately started playing the victim. She put on a whole act about how this was just a misunderstanding and a family issue, not a crime. But the police weren't buying it. "Is the house under your name, sir?" one officer asked me. "Yes." "Does Miss Bianca have permission to be here?" "No." The officers turned to Bianca. "Ma'am, we're going to need you to come with us." That's when she lost it. "This is insane. They're the selfish ones. They abandoned everyone on Thanksgiving." The officers ignored her shouting and escorted her outside. Before getting into the police car, she shot me one last furious look. "Mom and Dad are never going to forgive you for this. Good luck explaining to them why you spent Thanksgiving in jail." Silence fell over the house. Once the police car pulled away, I let out a deep breath. The house was still a disaster. Empty bottles everywhere, dishes piled up in the sink, trash scattered across the floor. But for the first time in years, I felt like I had finally broken free from Bianca's manipulation. The next morning, as expected, the phone call started. The first was from Mariana's mom. "You had your own sister-in-law arrested?" "No, the police arrested her for breaking into my house." This was too far. It was just a Thanksgiving dinner. "No, it was trespassing." She went silent for a moment before exploding again. "Do you realize what you've done? She spent the night in jail. Maybe next time she'll think twice before breaking into someone's house." She let out a frustrated sigh. She was just trying to keep the family tradition alive. Mariana grabbed the phone. "Whose tradition?" "Because it was never ours." Her mom didn't say anything. Then she hung up. But that was just the beginning. The messages and calls poured in from relatives, family, friends. Everyone wanted to know why we had gone that far, and if we couldn't have handled it differently. Some were outright angry. Others tried to guilt trip us. Are you happy now? Bianca is devastated. No matter what she did, having her arrested was too much. You two have always been the selfish ones in the family. But the most surprising thing? Despite all the outrage, no one had bailed her out. Bianca ended up spending 2 days in jail before she was released. 2 days was long enough for her to feel utterly humiliated. After that, she never reached out again. Over the next few months, things were tense with Mariana's family. She had some difficult conversations with her parents, but eventually, they let the issue go. Bianca, however, disappeared. No calls, no texts. Nothing. When the next Thanksgiving rolled around, we made a decision. From now on, we would only invite the people who truly mattered. That year, we hosted a small, intimate dinner with just our closest family and friends. The table was full, but it wasn't overcrowded. There were no fights, no complaints about the turkey, no stress. Just laughter, good food, and the kind of holiday we had always wanted. And Bianca? She spent Thanksgiving alone. I heard from a distant cousin that she had tried hosting something, but no one showed up. No one wanted to be involved in the Thanksgiving arrest scandal, as the family still called it. For the following years, we kept our new tradition. Every Thanksgiving, we had a cozy, peaceful dinner with the people who genuinely valued us. It was always a success. It always ended with warmth and happiness. And Bianca? Year after year, we heard she spent the holiday by herself. No one wanted to risk another Thanksgiving in jail. Eventually, people stopped talking about her. And me? I never had to deal with guilt trips, manipulations, or being forced into stressful holiday gatherings again. At last, after everything, we had finally earned our freedom.